Hi there, it's Norman Shawn. I'm calling from Australia. I'm based in Sydney, in Bondi, just near the beach. Just wanted an opportunity to meet with you before we got underway next week and do our scenario planning session. I suppose a good place to start is to really talk about COVID, and it's been very trying over here in Australia, although we seem to have managed to spread quite effectively. It's been at quite a cost to social contact, to mental health, and obviously to the economy as well. Hopefully things are looking better, and I trust things will look better on your end as well. So my work is really as a consultant to companies, government, and not-for-profit organizations. I work as an academic as well, part-time, teach at Gibbs, obviously, and also at a few universities in Australia and New Zealand. And I also operate as a non-executive director, a member of the board for two organisations. One's a small one and one's a large peak body that represents all the volunteering efforts across Australia. I have 4 kids. One of them is at school, one's at uni, and the other 2 at work. Obviously, I'm a mad cricket and rugby fan. We're on the last day in the last session of the 4th test against India. And at this point in time, we're not sure if it's going to end as a draw, an Indian victory or an Australian victory. So I guess I'll know in a couple of hours. And obviously very keen on rugby. And that's not a very good story at the moment as well. Australia's had a pretty lean period. And we're all sorry to see the Springboks are not part of the 4 Nations series any longer. So I'm looking forward to this journey with you, this 2-session program with you on scenario planning, how we work and how we set strategy in conditions of uncertainty. I thought I'd just really talk to you about the program very quickly. So scenario planning is a particular approach which is used when we are dealing with conditions of immense uncertainty, but when we still need to prepare ourselves for the future. And because we can't predict the future, we have to really use very different approaches to the way we think about, understand, and prepare ourselves for the future. And that's really what I want to talk to you about. So in our session next week, we're going to talk about a few things. We'll talk about why conventional planning doesn't work. What are the weaknesses? And I'll draw your attention back to the sessions you've had on complexity and adaptive leadership. And you might recall you spoke about technical challenges and adaptive challenges, and that's got to do with the level of complexity in the environment. So we'll talk about the implications of a complex environment and uncertainty and what that does to conventional planning. I'll describe scenario thinking to you and explain how that works, and then show you some alternative scenarios of the future which you would be able to use in trying to plan and prepare AIG in South Africa for this really uncertain future. And then we'll get you to do a little assignment whereby you do that exercise on your part of the business. So just before I end, I just want to talk to you very quickly about how we're going to deal with this. So one of the things we'll see is that while conventional planning is about forecasting into the future, scenario planning is really about backcasting from the future. So we start off on the right-hand side with a set of future scenarios, and then we actually kind of work our way back to the present, ask ourselves, well, that means, what does that mean, and what can we do about it? And you'll see we actually have 4 key stages in scenario planning, and we'll cover them as well quite briefly. We start off by developing alternative scenarios of the future. What are the different ways in which the present can unfold into the future? And then we take our business idea or our current strategy and we test them against those scenarios. We say, well, how will we travel? How will we fare in each of those different scenarios? And in each of those scenarios, we then identify the strengths and the weaknesses of our business. What are the things that would work really well, that we obviously got to keep, and what are the things that are weaknesses that we might need to change or might need to develop new capabilities for? And then the last part of scenario planning is obviously building resilience by developing these new capabilities for the future of our business. So that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about. And I'm really looking forward to speaking to you and meeting with you all soon and having an enjoyable and profitable, productive session on scenario planning. Until then, until the 25th, look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.